Russia, it's at an historic crossroads. Vladimir Putin has called the breakup of the Soviet Empire the great tragedy of the 20th century. Will he try and reverse what he calls a tragedy and bludgeon the countries of the former Soviet Union into submission and intimidate Europe with the lever of its energy resources? To our south, will the malign socialism of Hugo Chavez's Venezuela, in tight alliance with the malign socialism of Castro's Cuba, undermine the prospects of democracy in a region thirsting for freedom and stability and prosperity? Our border with Mexico remains an open sore. Will drug cartels dominate the regions adjoining the United States with greater and greater violence spilling over into our country? Will we have failed to secure the border and to stem the tide of illegal immigrants? And will drug smugglers and terrorists increasingly make their way into our midst? This would be a troubling and threatening world for America, but it's not unrealistic. These are only some of the very real dangers that America faces if we continue the feckless policies of the past 3 years. Of course, it doesn't have to be this way. This isn't our destiny. It's a choice. We're a democracy. You decide. In this campaign for the presidency of the United States, I will offer a very different vision of America's role in the world and of America's destiny. Our next president is going to face many difficult and complex foreign policy decisions. Few of them will be black and white. But I'm here today to tell you that I'm guided by one overwhelming conviction and passion. This century must be an American century. In an American century, America has the strongest economy and the strongest military in the world. In an American century, America leads the free world, and the free world leads the entire world. God did not create this country to be a nation of followers. America is not destined to be one of several equally balanced global powers. America must lead the world, or someone else will. Without American leadership, without clarity of American purpose and resolve, the world becomes a far more dangerous place, and liberty and prosperity would surely be among the first casualties. Let me make this very clear. As President of the United States, I will devote myself to an American century, and I will never, ever apologize for America. Now, some may ask, why America? Why should America be any different than scores of other countries around the globe? I believe we are an exceptional country with a unique destiny and role in the world. Not exceptional, as the President has derisively said, in the way that British think Great Britain is exceptional or the Greeks think Greece is exceptional. In Barack Obama's profoundly mistaken view, there's nothing unique about the United States. But we are exceptional. And we're exceptional because we are a nation founded on a precious idea that was birthed in the American Revolution and propounded by our greatest statesmen in our fundamental documents. We are a people who threw off the yoke of tyranny and established a government, in Abraham Lincoln's words, of the people, by the people, and for the people. We're a people who, in the language of our Declaration of Independence, hold certain truths to be self-evident. Namely, that all men are created by their Creator with certain unalienable rights. It is our belief in the universality of these unalienable rights that lead us to our exceptional role on the world stage, that of a great champion of human dignity and American and human freedom. We love the principles of America's founding. I was born in 1947. Classic baby boomer. I grew up in a world formed by one dominant threat to America, the Soviet Union and communism. The duck and cover drills we learned in school during the Cuban Missile Crisis resulted from a threat by a known identifiable enemy with clear borders and established leaders. We needed spy planes to find the hidden missile bases in Cuba, but we didn't need them to find Nikita Khrushchev. President Reagan could negotiate with Soviet Premier Mikhail Gorbachev and sign treaties for which each side could be held accountable. And when we caught the Soviets cheating, we could bring the world's attention to their transgressions. Today, our world is far more chaotic. We still face grave threats, but they come not from one country or one group or one ideology. The world is unfortunately not so defined. What America and our allies are facing is a series of threatening forces, ones that overlap and reinforce one another. To defend America and to secure a peaceful and prosperous world, we need to clearly understand these emerging threats, grasp their complexity, and formulate a strategy that deals with them before they explode into conflict. It's far too easy for a president to jump from crisis to crisis, dealing with one hotspot after another. But to do so is to be shaped by events rather than to shape events. To avoid this paralyzing seduction of action rather than progress, a president must have a broad vision of the entire world coupled with clarity of purpose. When I look around the world, I see a handful of major forces that vie with America and free nations to shape the world in an image of their choosing. These are not exclusively military threats. Rather, they are determined, powerful forces that may threaten freedom, prosperity, and America's national interests. First, Islamic fundamentalism, with which we've been at war since September 11th of 2001. Second, the struggle in the greater Middle East between those who yearn for freedom and those who seek to crush it. The dangerous and destabilizing ripple effects of failed and failing states from which terrorists may find safe haven. The anti-American visions of regimes in Iran, North Korea, Venezuela, Cuba, two of which are seeking nuclear weapons. And these forces include rising nations with hidden and emerging aspirations like China, determined to be a world superpower, and a resurgent Russia, led by a man who believes the Soviet Union was great, not evil.